Personalized video messages can be an amazing way to stand out with new prospects, to earn their attention, and to build trust throughout the entire sales process. Whether you're reaching out to cold leads and trying to cut through the noise, or get that meeting booked with that new inbound lead, or maybe you're just trying to help your buyer make the right buying decision. No matter what it is, video messages can be the perfect way to help you both source and close more deals. But what the heck are video messages? And how do you go about making and sending one? Let's start with the basics. Video messages are short, custom videos that you can use to introduce yourself, to explain complex ideas, or even walk through demos or proposals, all without requiring your prospect to get on a live call.
So, like an email, but video.
Yeah, what Will said. But while the idea seems simple enough, until recently, it was actually very difficult to record, customize, send, and track a custom video through typical outreach channels like email or direct messages. But the rise of purpose-built video messaging tools, ones that are made for salespeople, has made it just as easy to record and send a custom video as it is to type out an email.
Actually, even easier. No need to worry about punctuation or grammar. Just record what you want to say, end it, and send it.
Yeah. So here's how these tools tend to work. When you're ready to make your video, simply click on your app and select whether you'd like to record just your webcam or your webcam plus your screen. Now, a webcam-only video can be a great way to introduce yourself and to build rapport. But a screen share video can be the perfect way to clearly explain new ideas, to show rather than just tell how it is that you can help, or even to hyper-personalize your outreach with something on the screen that they're going to be able to relate to, that they might even recognize, and that shows them without a shadow of a doubt that you genuinely put the effort in to make a custom video just for them. So whether you're making a webcam or a screen share video, simply hit record, start your video, and once you're done, hit that stop button, and your video is ready to go. Now, you have the option to customize the thumbnail image in case you want to make it something that you're sure is really going to stand out. Depending on your tool of choice, you may have other features like adding chapter marks, or trimming your video, or doing other basic edits. But most of the time, none of that is necessary. Now, once the video is ready, one click to add the thumbnail image plus the hyperlink to the video directly into your email. Drop it in there, click send, you're off to the races. Once your prospect watches your video, depending on your tool, you're likely going to get a notification to let you know that that person just ended up watching, which can be super helpful so that you know exactly how and when to follow up with your leads. Now, it's important to note that these tools aren't attaching a video file to the email because, well, that would make it very hard for your emails to get through spam filters. So what these tools are actually doing is adding a hyperlink in the email that when the recipient clicks on it, it will open a custom web page where they immediately get to watch that video. And of course, once they do watch it, well, you know what to do.
Hey prospect, I noticed that you watched my video, but didn't respond. Was it my face, or was what I said just not that relevant?
Yeah, maybe, or you could be a little bit less creepy. Outbound prospecting is one of the best use cases for personalized video messages. They can help you stand out from the noise and get the attention of busy prospects. They can help you build rapport from the very first touch. And they can make you more memorable than just about any other sales rep out there. And it can do all of that in less than 60 seconds. When using video messages for prospecting, you have 4 main goals. Number 1, you want to increase engagement with your outbound prospects. And you can do this, of course, by making it almost irresistible for them to engage with that email you're sending by having an amazing video message that's going to teach them, that's going to help them get to know you, and that's going to exchange a huge amount of value. Get them to watch your video, increase that engagement, and your likelihood of getting a response goes way up. Number 2, clearly explaining why it is you're reaching out or how it is that you can help. The amazing thing about video is that you can show rather than just tell. And most people are actually visual learners. Number 3, build rapport. Video is an amazing way to help your prospects get to know you, get to hear you, and get to trust you. There is no better format than a short video message to start building rapport with a new prospect from the very first touch point. And number 4, well, the whole goal of your outreach, get more responses. If you can get somebody to watch your video message, the likelihood of them responding goes way up. In most cases, you're hopefully going to get a positive response. But even if it prompts them to reach back out and let you know this just isn't right for me at this time, that can be so much more impactful than just hearing crickets, because there's nothing worse than somebody just ignoring you outright, and it's hard to do that after they've seen you as a real person, a real authentic human on video. So let's dive into a few very specific best practices for how you can use video for prospecting to achieve those 4 key goals. The first best practice for using video in prospecting is to focus your efforts on using personalized videos for your top tier leads and accounts. Now, if you try to make a video message for every prospect you're reaching out to, frankly, you're going to burn yourself out and you're going to feel super inefficient. So I want you to focus on those leads or accounts that you think you have the best chance of converting if you can just get that meeting booked or get them on a call. You can also think about using video messages for those instances where showing is just going to be so much more impactful than telling. Maybe it's a tier 2 or 3 lead, but you found something online that you know if you bring this up in a video and talk about it, it's going to have a huge impact and it's something that they can really visually relate to. Now that we've figured out who we want to send video messages to, the next most important thing is to identify what I like to call personalization hooks to use within your videos. Remember, one of the superpowers of video is its visual nature, and the fact that that thumbnail image can be shared in that outbound email. And that picture is worth, well, 1,000 words. And if you have the ability to personalize what's in that thumbnail image, as well as what's in the video, it can go a long way to getting them to click in, to engage, and to respond to your message.
Any outbound message, whether a video, an email, a cold call, or a DM, is more effective when it's more about them than it is about you, because no one really cares about what you think. They care about themselves and their world and the challenges that they're facing.
So there's a few things you can do with video that are actually a little bit different from your other messages to hyper-personalize it and maximize your chance of getting that engagement. I want you to start by reviewing your existing email messaging and the research process that you normally go through to learn a little bit about your leads before reaching out. Now, as you're looking at your emails or thinking about that research process, I want you to intentionally identify different observations you're making, different information you're collecting, as ones that you can bring to life, like literally in a video message. For example, if your existing emails say something along the lines of, I noticed that you're hiring a whole bunch of new people into your HR team. That is actually a perfect opportunity to create a personalization hook in a video. What I would do is I would actually go to that person's website where those job postings are listed, and I would bring that up on my screen behind me. I'd hit the record button and I would say, hey Will, I noticed that you're hiring a number of new folks into your HR team. I was on your website right up here behind me, and I can see some of the roles that you're currently hiring for. I'm reaching out because ABC, and I was interested if you'd like to know XYZ. Now, by doing this in a video message, it becomes clear and plain as day to them that you genuinely did your homework. And this wasn't just a lucky spray and pray message, but it also creates something visual that they can relate to. And that goes a long way to getting them to engage in your message, to feel like they're actually pretty special and that they want to put the time and investment in to learning about you as much as you've put the time in to learn about them. The approach that I just talked about, creating a visual personalization hook, is something that I like to call show what you know. It's easy, right? Write it down on a sticky note, slap it up on your monitor, show what you know. It's the approach of showing your prospect exactly what it is you've learned about them, what you know about them through your research process. And by showing it, it removes any of that potential doubt they might have in their mind that you have actually done your homework. It makes it irrefutable, and it's such a powerful tool. So let me walk you through a few different examples of how to use Show What You Know as a way to create a few different types of high-impact outbound prospecting videos that have been proven to work for countless different sales reps. So for these examples, I'm going to play a sales rep at SalesFeed who is reaching out to different technology vendors in the sales space to try to see if they'd be interested in sponsoring our various online media channels. And in this case, I'm going to go out and prospect an awesome company called Clary, who provides a revenue platform for sales teams. Now, as part of my research, I would of course go to their website to learn a little bit more about their business and see what's pretty timely. I would research some of their different marketing leaders on LinkedIn and other channels that I can, because I'm going to be reaching out to the marketing team who typically manages the sponsorship budgets. And of course, I'm going to dig a little bit deeper on each of those to see if I can find any astute observations about what they might be up to right now, what might be important to them, or, particular to this case, what other sponsorships they're investing in so that I can weave that into my outbound messaging. Now, based on what I've found, I've come up with 3 different concepts for outbound video messages. Let's dive into them. The first one is what I like to call the website hover video. This is when I go onto their website and I start my video by making an observation about something timely, relevant, or interesting that I want to raise to their attention. Hey, Devin, just want to say the new revenue platform buyer's guide that your team has put out is just chef's kiss. Love it. Absolutely love it. Great content. Love the design. No surprise, your team has been putting out awesome content for a long time. But the reason I'm reaching out is I am part of the team here at SalesFeed, and I wanted to get a sense for how it is you are getting this guide in front of a broader audience than just the people already following Clary. If you didn't know, SalesFeed has a community of over 150,000 sales leaders and reps who follow us across our various social channels. You can follow us here on LinkedIn to see a little bit more of what we're about. But we're looking for more and more great content like your buyer's guide to share with our community, to educate our audience, and to build awareness of great things like revenue platforms. If you would be open to us sharing it with our community, please let me know. I'm happy to start to share it on our social channels to see how it resonates with our community. And if you're interested in a broader partnership, there are other programs we have in place to get it in front of more and more eyeballs across our newsletter and other social channels. So we'd love to hear your feedback on that. Either way, we'd love to share it with our audience. Just let me know, and we can take it from there. Thanks so much. We'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. Okay, so that one was pretty good. But let's hop into the second example. And this is one that I call the LinkedIn profile hover video. It's similar in nature to the website video, where I'm going to record something on their LinkedIn profile with myself on screen as well. But this time, I'm going to make an observation specific to something that I found on that channel to really personalize that message. Hey, Devin. First of all, I just love your commitment to, well, content that converts. I've been following Clary for a while now and love what your team has been putting out there. And I also found that you run your own newsletter. I actually subscribed a couple of weeks ago and huge fan of what you're putting out there. I am part of the, I think, 45% of people who open it now on a weekly basis. So looking forward to more. The reason I'm reaching out today, though, is because I want to help you get that content that converts in front of more and more eyeballs, which I'm sure your team is keen to do. I'm actually part of the SalesFeed Media Network here, and we have a following of over 150,000 sales professionals and leaders. And I'd like to see if we can get your new buyer's guide for revenue platforms in front of more and more of those people. Now, I'd be happy to share it with our audience on LinkedIn as a starting point. And if that goes well and the reception is good from our community, would love to chat with you about how we can expand that to promote it through our newsletter, our TikTok channels, and other avenues. If that sounds interesting, please let me know. Happy to start sharing it with no cost involved because I think it'd just be super valuable to our community. Let me know what you think. And if that works, I'd love for you to send me over the guide and I'll take it from there. All right. Thanks so much, Devin. And we'll chat with you soon. Take care. Bye for now. And my third example, in this case, while I was learning a little bit more about their team, I found that they're also sponsoring a third-party channel called Sales Assembly. So I thought I'd bring that up and make a video to find out how that sponsorship is going and to see if we could show similar, if not better, results.
Hey, Devin and the Clary team, thank you so much for clicking play. I was curious how your sponsorship of Sales Assembly is going these days, and if you're looking for any other new channels to reach a broader audience of sales leaders to get them engaged in your content and your messaging. Reason I ask is I'm part of the team here at SalesFeed, and we have an audience of over 150,000 sales leaders and reps across a variety of channels and our newsletter. And we're working with a number of the other Sales Assembly partners to get their best content in front of all those different eyeballs. And I was on your website and noticed you have a new buyer's guide for revenue platforms that I think would be an amazing asset to push out into that audience to both raise awareness of revenue platforms, but to also hopefully generate some new leads and demand for Clary. So I wanted to see if you were interested in having us share that asset with our audience to see what the reception is like and if it's able to drive any net new leads for you. I'd be happy to get it in front of our LinkedIn community just to see what they think. And if we see a positive response, we can chat about ways to get that in front of a broader audience to hopefully help you guys generate some more leads from it. Would love your feedback on this idea. Thank you so much and look forward to chatting. Take care. Bye for now.
All three of Tyler's videos work for similar reasons. It always starts with something about them, which makes the thumbnail more eye-catching because they're going to recognize something to do with them, their website, their LinkedIn profile, or an asset of theirs. And I'm going to think, oh, what is this? It gets them curious enough to open it. What's more, because it starts with something about them, it gives them a really clear answer to the question, why has this person reached out to me? With that added visual context that you don't get from an email or a cold call. Tyler's camera expanding and shrinking and move around the screen adds an extra visual interest to make sure the video is engaging and they watch the whole thing.
All right. So there are 3 different types of videos that I can make for prospects like Clary that all follow a pretty consistent format. It's not rocket science in terms of the messaging. It's taking some of the observations and the value props that I might weave into my emails or my phone calls, but bringing them to life, like literally in a video to make it a much more impactful message and to ensure that my personality comes shining through and I can build that rapport and trust while articulating my value prop. Now, I want to share with you a few other great examples of outbound prospecting videos that follow the show what you know format. These are examples from a variety of different sellers in a few different industries to help inspire you with the art of the possible. I love these examples and I want you to use them as some inspiration for what you could do for your own prospecting. Let's check them out.
Hey, thanks for taking the time to check this out. Now, personally, I love you guys. I use Vidyard all the time, but did notice a few areas where I thought Trustpilot could help with some quick wins for you guys. I just wanted to highlight it on this. So, as you can see here, I just ran a generic search based off a keyword you guys are currently bidding for. As you can see, like Adobe and Loom are also bidding on that same keyword, but nothing's really having you guys stand out in search right now. So I wanted to show you this example. As you can see here, I ran a search for online tutoring. So Tutor Me Education and Preply are both Trustpilot customers. They are proactively collecting reviews with us to power these gold stars. As you can see here, we have C2 Educate. They're bidding on the same keywords, but they have nothing to help them stand out. According to Google, companies that have gold stars on their paid ads see an average of 10% increase in traffic and a much lower cost per click rate. Would love to talk about how we can help Vidyard get their ads showing up with stars on them and just driving more traffic to your site. Thanks for checking this out, though, and I hope we can connect.
Hi, Benny. Thank you so much for clicking play. Daniel Shakur from Vidyard here. Short video for you noticing your role as the head of business development at Second Closet. Great to see that you are looking to expand the biz dev team, as I did notice Second Closet, in my opinion, has seen some exponential growth over the last year, an increase of 81% of total employee headcount, and your sales team has grown by 150% over the last year, so congratulations on that tremendous growth. But the reason for my outreach is to see if you've ever considered having your biz dev team utilize videos like this to not only help them stand out from the noise, but help them book more meetings and build up more pipeline. Often when I'm talking to leaders of the biz dev team, they are finding that their business development representatives are having a hard time standing out from the noise, getting responses on their emails, and ultimately booking that first initial meeting. But with the use of video, it's a great way to help them stand out from the noise and add that personalized, humanized element to their outreach, which definitely goes a long way in today's digital age. These are a couple of customer stories that you can go ahead and check out that I will also include in my email, just highlighting how Dynamic Signal as well as HubSpot saw an increase in booked meetings, but also a conversion of their meeting to opportunity rate. So Benny, if any of this has resonated with you, if you wanted to learn a little bit more about how your sales team can be utilizing videos like this, please let me know. I'm more than happy to answer any questions. You can even book in some time into my calendar that'll pop up at the end of this video. Thanks for your time, Benny, but I hope all is well. Cheers.
Hi there, Andy. Matt here from Woodway UK. Hope you're well. Andy, getting in touch today because I recently received a package from yourselves at the Body Shop, and upon unboxing it, realised that actually we at Woodway could do something a little bit different for you, make the packaging more sustainable, make it more effective for your packers when they're packing it, and also make it a better unboxing experience for your customers. So what I've done, me and my colleague have put together this short video of us unboxing the box. So here you have your tissue paper on the top, products in the middle which were safely intact, which is always a good sign, and then also a little bit of tissue paper on the bottom. And what I did, Andy, is I once I got all the tissue paper out, I unraveled it all just to see how much had actually been used. And as you can see from here, it's about 7 meters, which is quite a bit. So what I want to do is whet your appetite with the red paper on the right hand side. Now that's what I use to safely and securely pack your products back into the box. And if you want to understand how I did that, then click the button at the end of the video that says book a meeting. You can then book a packaging discussion with myself at a convenient time for you, and we can discuss how we did this for you. So I hope you enjoyed the video and look forward to hearing from you soon. Take care.
All right. We figured out who we want to prospect with video. We've determined a personalized hook to maximize our chances of drawing them into our story. And we've made sure the video isn't too long so we don't turn them off. This next tip may be the most important because we need to make sure that when we send this video over, we maximize our chances of getting them to click the play button. Because if they don't watch the video, what's that if a tree falls in the forest thing?
If a tree falls in a forest and there's no one there to hear it, does it still make a racket?
There's nothing more frustrating than spending time to make that perfect video for your prospect and having them just ignore it. So I want to give you a few very specific tips to increase your chances of getting your prospect to click that play button so they can get to know you, get to hear you, get to trust you, and ultimately respond to your message. Now for this part, I'm going to use the example video where I was on Clary's website and I created a video talking about one of the guides on their page as something that I thought would be a relevant thing to get in front of our audience. So using that as an example, let's talk through a few very specific tactics for how to maximize your watch rate on your videos. The first thing we want to do is ensure that our video has an irresistible thumbnail image that they'll see as soon as they open up their email. A thumbnail image that is so awesome that they have no choice but to click in and watch your video. Now, how do we do that? Well, first and foremost, we want to ensure that that thumbnail image includes something about them so that they know without a shadow of a doubt that you made this video just for them and their expectation of value goes up much higher. For example, in this case with Clary, the video I've made has a shot of their website in the background. It actually includes the page for their guide, which I know their marketing leaders are going to recognize. So when I choose the thumbnail image for this video, it's going to include my face in the corner or up on the side, along with that web page behind me, so they can immediately, in a split second, know that I genuinely made this video just for them. It's their website. How could it not be for them? Now, we've chosen the perfect thumbnail. The second thing we need to do is make sure that, well, they open the email in the first place and then are intrigued enough to come down, look at the thumbnail, and click play. And how we do that is to make sure that we optimize the subject line of the email that we're using to send the video, as well as including a couple of lines of text to make sure that we introduce why we're reaching out and to create interest and curiosity to go down, check out that thumbnail, and click that play button. Trust me, you do not want to just send a video entirely on its own. Adding a small amount of context is critical to ensuring they know why you're reaching out and to create a little bit of FOMO about watching that video. So for example, in this case with Clary, my video is talking about their buyer's guide on their website. And then of course, dovetailing into how it is that they could leverage our sales feed channels to get that out to a broader audience. So in my subject line, going back to the previous sales feed course on email messaging, I'm going to keep it short, simple, and direct. In this case, it's going to be buyer's guide. Now, I think that's going to create interest and curiosity, but not tip off that this is a salesperson or make it feel too much like I'm trying to sell them. Now, after that subject line, I'm going to include a short amount of text in my email with the goal of getting them to click the play button. I can't emphasize that enough. The goal of this email isn't to book the meeting, it's to get them to click the play button. The goal of the video is to get them to book the meeting. So focus your copy on being short and sweet, but just enough to whet their appetite to want to watch the video. So for example, in the case of Clary, well, I'll let the email do the talking. You can see up here on the screen an example of how I've crafted this email to explain why I've sent them a video and to create a little bit of curiosity so that they have to, I'm serious, have to click that play button to find out more. Okay, we've got a great subject line, great intro copy, great thumbnail image. This next tip is a bit of a secret. Don't tell anybody else, because this is a big one for you. The sentence after the thumbnail image is actually really important. Now, this is typically the line where most reps, right, not you, but all those other ones, they're gonna say something like, if the info in the video resonates with you, I'd love to book some time. Here's a link to my calendar. Or do you have 30 minutes next Tuesday? Right? They're going for the hard close. And while that may seem like a good idea, the problem is, well, let's go back to my point. The goal of the email is to get them to click the play button. And I can tell you from experience, for somebody who's received a lot of sales emails like this, if I scan the email before clicking play, and I see that line where you're asking me for my time, I am way more likely to just ignore it, delete it, and move on. Because I know, no matter how good that video is, I'm not ready to book time with you. And it just feels like you're hungry to sell me. So instead of that, what I want you to do is say something like the following. Is the problem that I shared in the video something that your team is feeling? See what I did there? When they read that, it creates increased curiosity to watch the video. I'm expecting they're going to think, what is this problem? Okay, maybe I should watch the video to find out so that I can answer that question. So there's lots of different ways you can frame that, but always look at it through the lens of that final sentence is also there to drive them to watch the video. Now you can see here in the email for Clary, the final line I've chosen for this one, another great example. And again, my goal here is to drive that view. Okay, we have written a great subject line, intro copy, an amazing thumbnail, and a final sentence. It all looks perfect, but we have one more thing to do, and that is to ensure we put this video and this email in the right spot in our sequence to maximize our chances of them engaging. Now, you may be tempted to include this video in the first email in your sequence, but best practices show that you're best served including it in either the second or third email of your sequence. There's a few reasons for that. Number one, you want to use those first few touch points to create a little bit of personal brand awareness with your prospect. An email, a voicemail, a LinkedIn Connect, those are all going to get your name familiar to them, so when you do come in with the video a little bit later, they're more likely to engage. The second thing is you don't want to spend all that time making the video for that email to get bounced back because maybe it's not even the right email address. So by sending a first email as a bit of a test, and also to make sure it gets through their firewall without the image and link, is really important. So I suggest including this email with the video as the second or third email touch point, and to send it somewhere between days 4 to 10 of your sequence, depending on how your overall outbound sequence is built. And finally, our last tip to maximize your watch rate is to ensure that you don't just send the video as a one and done part of your sequence. Now, believe it or not, sometimes your prospect won't watch the video after you send it.
I can't believe it.
I know, it's crazy, right? Like, how could they not after you spent all that time making the perfect video for them? But of course, that's going to happen more times than not. So you want to ensure that your next set of touch points in your sequence reference back to that video to drive them there, to get them to click the play button. After sending the email with the video, if they haven't watched or they haven't responded, the next time you make a phone call, you'll want to leave a short voicemail referencing back to the video. Something along the lines of, "Hey Kyle, Tyler at SalesFeed here. I made you a short video and sent it to your inbox yesterday because I wanted to show you how we could help expand the reach of your new buyer's guide to our SalesFeed audience. No need to call me back. Would just love some feedback on that short video I made you. Search for Tyler SalesFeed in your inbox and you should be able to find it. Thanks so much." So what I've done there is actually a bit of a pattern interrupt, right? When somebody gets a voicemail, if they listen to it or they receive it as a text, and they see quickly that this person made and sent me a video to my inbox, it's very different from pretty much all the other voicemails they're getting. And it should create a level of intrigue and curiosity. What, they made me a video? They sent it over to me? I got to check this thing out, hopefully. It also, again, gives them a really simple next step that doesn't require the commitment of asking for them to call you back. Okay, so the next voicemail references the video. Same thing for your next email, right? It could be a reply to your previous one, or it could be another email in your sequence, but it should refer back to the video that was sent, driving them to watch. So something really simple along the lines of, "Kyle, sent you a short video a couple days ago. You'll find it below. I'm just looking for your feedback to understand if this is something that's relevant to your team right now, or if I'm barking up the wrong tree." Whatever it happens to be, a simple and short message that reinforces, "I made you this video, and I'm just looking for feedback." That's it. Made you the video, looking for feedback. And the last thing you can do is on your next social touch. If you've already connected on LinkedIn, this is a great chance for you to send them a direct message. And in that case, you can also include the link to the video in that DM. Something simple, once again, just like that follow-up email. "Hey Kyle, connected with you recently and just made you a short video because ABC. Really curious for your feedback, appreciate it." And you can include the link to the video and it will actually pop up the thumbnail. He can one click, watch the video, and decide to follow up. And our final best practice for how to create prospecting videos that maximize your chances of booking that meeting, it's actually a really simple one.
Be yourself, be human, be genuine, be animated, be excited, be enthusiastic.
We have mastered the art of video for outbound prospecting. So let's talk about the next area where you can use videos effectively. And this is for converting inbound or warm leads that are coming to you either from your marketing team, maybe from your website, or even from a referral from a customer, a colleague, or somebody in your network. Now, these warm or inbound leads can often be the most important pipeline that we can generate. They're folks who are raising their hand, have demonstrated some interest, but even so, not all of these people convert. In fact, a very small percentage of those people convert in the end. And many of them don't even respond to the first email you send back after they raise their hand.
How dare you defy me?
So this is actually a really great place to use a personalized video message to create the best possible first impression with warm leads who are coming into your funnel. Now, I want to share how you can use videos to follow up on different types of warm or inbound leads, to maximize your conversion rate on them, and to ensure they actually show up for that meeting that you end up booking. The first is for leads who come in from a high-value form on your website, such as a demo request, a contact us form, or a pricing request. Now, these can often be the hottest leads for us to get in sales. They're people who are clearly demonstrating an interest, But even still, we have to make a strong first impression to make sure that we capture their attention, we get a conversation going as quickly as possible, and we don't lose that opportunity to convert them while they're actively interested. So how can you stand out from all the other competitors that they're also requesting a demo or pricing from? Well, a short video message can actually go a long way. What I like to do is record a short video where I'm introducing myself a little bit more personally, demonstrating through my tone, my body language, the words that I say, that I'm here to help them, that I'm excited to be working with them, and that my goal is to teach them the things they need to learn, to understand them a little bit better, and to guide them on their path to finding a solution. And you can do that so much more effectively in a video message than just trying to type it out in an email. But what I also like to do is include something in the video that they're going to recognize and relate to, that's going to provide that additional context for why it is that they came inbound in the first place and why I'm reaching back out. It will actually assist in their recall of the fact that they requested the conversation in the first place. So to do that, for example, if somebody came in from a pricing request, what I would do is I would hit record, but I would have our pricing page up right behind me on the screen. So this gives me now an opportunity to personally, again, introduce myself, explain how it is that I can help, but I can also point to the screen and say, thank you so much for putting in your request to learn more about our pricing. And now in less than 1 minute, they get to know you, they get to hear you, they get to trust you, and their chances of responding back and booking that meeting are going to go up. The second type of warm or inbound lead that this approach can work really well with are leads you get from events. This could be an in-person conference where your marketing team had a booth, or it could be an online event where you attracted in a new audience and you want to engage with those folks afterwards. Now there's a few different ways you can use video messages here to stand out with those potential buyers, because remember, if you're following up with them after an event, likely so are many other sales reps, and you have to stand out and make that strong impression. Now, if you're following up on a lead from an in-person event, the way you follow up is going to depend on if you were there at the booth or not. If you were there at the booth and you actually had a chance to meet them in person, what I like to do is, following that quick conversation, maybe when there's some downtime at the event during sessions, I'm going to record a video while I'm at my booth. I'm actually going to have it in the background, and I'm going to reintroduce myself, thank them again for the conversation at the booth, and advise them on next steps. Now, I'm not going to send it yet. I'm going to wait to send it until a little bit later, but that gives them an opportunity when they see that video. It's going to once again create that recall for them. Oh, that's the event I was just at. Oh, I remember going to their booth. Oh, I remember meeting that person. Okay, yes, let's have a conversation. Now, if you weren't at the event yourself, and maybe it's a lead list you got afterwards, a great thing to do now is to record a video, once again with you on camera. But in this case, you want to bring up something on your screen that represents the event they were at. So in this case, what I might do is actually bring up the event website up behind me in my video, and I'll reference it during my introduction. Hey Will, Tyler at SalesFeed here. Thanks so much for coming by our booth at event XYZ. I heard you had a great conversation with this individual. The reason I'm following up is this, and so on. Now again, this gives a really simple visual hack to create that recall, to create that connection, to drive them to engage, and to create that next possible step. The third type of warm lead a video message can work really well with is a referral. Now, referrals are amazing, especially when they're coming from colleagues, trusted partners, or an existing customer. But no matter how good the referral is, we all know that not all of them are going to follow up with us. Some of them are going to completely ghost us, and others are going to be skeptical following the introduction if the way we follow up is too salesy. So a great way to make that first impression, once again, a great, helpful, personal, authentic video message. So in this case, I'm going to make a webcam video where it's just me, nothing you need on my screen. I'm going to introduce myself. I'm going to thank the person who made the referral or the introduction. And I'm going to very clearly and authentically explain why it is that I'm excited to chat and what the next steps will likely be. Really simple. Don't overthink it, but use video as a way to make a more memorable first impression, to create that authenticity, to create that rapport, and to increase the chance that it's going to stand out when it does land in their inbox and that they'll actually make that response. All right, we've made it through the initial hurdles of getting a prospect interested, and we're into an actual deal cycle.
It's about damn time.
Now this is where video can actually really shine as a way to shorten our deal cycles, i.e. increase velocity, and even to help us increase our close rates. Now, there's a few different ways videos can do this, but I want to talk about the reason why video messages can work so well in this part of the deal cycle. And as much as it's about creating a more efficient process for us as a salesperson, the reality is you should be using video to create a better experience for your buyer. Yes, that's right. Think about them more than yourself. There are so many ways we can use videos to share information in a way that our buyers prefer, on-demand, self-service, easily shareable, but in a way that still involves us. It's not just sending over an ebook or a white paper. It's not just sending a link to a web page or an off-the-shelf product demo video. We have the tools at our disposal that we as salespeople can record custom videos very specific to their needs, answering their questions, explaining things in their situational context, and be able to send those over, allow them to consume them on their own time, share them with disparate stakeholders, learn as they go, but not always be dependent on hopping on a live call. It's like the best of both worlds. So let's talk about a few very specific ways in which you can use these types of videos at different stages of the buying journey that other sellers have proven to work really, really well to either increase velocity or increase win rates. The first use case is one that I call the really simple post-meeting follow-up. After you have a great call, a great video conference, you want to send a follow-up note to recap the high points, to answer any big questions that came up that maybe you didn't have time to address, and to set expectations for next steps. Now, this is important both for your champion, so that you have a concise reiteration of those key points they can refer to, but it's also important for all those other individuals who are part of the buying committee, but may or may not have had a chance to join the live call. So the post-meeting video message is a great way to recap key points, to walk through answers to questions that may have come up, and actually do so in a show and tell way, right? Like if they asked about a certain feature that you didn't have time to really dive into, I mean, what better way? Pull up your screen, record a quick walkthrough, and send that over as part of the follow-up. Now they can consume that information on their own time. You don't have to wait until the next meeting to answer that question or to walk them through it, and you keep things moving faster. Now again, all of this is really important for your champion to continue to create clarity for them on the process, but it's even more impactful for those other stakeholders that this may get forwarded to. It allows them to quickly get up to speed. It allows them to see rather than just hear what those next steps are. And equally important, it allows them to get to know you, to get to trust you as a sales rep, because some of those folks may never join a live call and might never actually get a chance to see you in person, either real life or even over a video call. These video messages are that one chance. Speaking of walking through certain features, that is the second great use case for customized videos in your sales process. Now, when a customer is interested in capability XYZ or integration A, we traditionally have gone one of two routes. We would either schedule another call to walk through those things on a live Zoom or Teams or other video conference, or we would send over an off-the-shelf video, or much worse, a data sheet, that they can consume on their own time, but isn't really customized to them. But the reality is, well, the off-the-shelf content isn't that impactful, and the live call might not be efficient for either of you and may cause delays in your deal cycle. Just put it to rest and record a custom video for them, send it over, and let them watch it on their time. Now, this works great if you have a software product where you can do a screen share and actually walk through the capabilities yourself. Or maybe there's somebody on your solutions consulting team or your marketing team who can assist you with this and do a screen recording on your behalf or in partnership with you. But the real power of this is helping to answer those questions, doing those walkthroughs, providing offline demos, but in a way that is specific to them. It's like doing it live, but allowing them to watch it on demand. Once again, best of both worlds. Now, that's going to be great for you as a seller because it's going to be more efficient and save you time, but it's particularly great for your buyer because they don't have to wait for that live call. And once you send it over, they can easily share that with other stakeholders who probably wouldn't have joined the live call in the first place. And speaking of those other stakeholders, that brings me to the third use case for personal videos in your deal cycle, which is what I like to call the stakeholder influence videos. Now, if you only sell to a single person and they are the entire buying committee, you're probably in a good place. But if you're selling deals that have multiple stakeholders, maybe a few different decision makers, you know how challenging it can be to get everybody on the same page. To influence each of those different stakeholders to create demand and interest and consensus around what it is that you're trying to sell them. Video messages can be a really great way to do this, where you don't have to be there in person, you don't have to rely on calendar sync, but you're also not at the behest of text-based emails that, well, it's difficult to really explain yourself clearly. So here's what I like to do. When I know there are multiple different stakeholders in an account, let's go back to my clarity example. Let's say I know who the 3 or 4 key people in the marketing team are that I need to influence, but it turns out there's also somebody in finance, somebody in procurement, and there's actually somebody in legal who's going to be involved in validating the contract and ensuring we can do business together. So I may record a short video for each of those different stakeholders to introduce myself, right? The person in finance, the person in procurement, they're never going to join a call. They're never going to get to know me. But the more that they do, the better shot I have of closing. So I'm going to create a video for each of them, introduce myself, explain again in my terms the problems that I've uncovered and how it is that we're going to help solve them so that they have that reinforcement and can hear it from me rather than relying on my champion. But then, of course, I'm going to be very specific in proactively addressing any questions or potential objections that those individuals might have. I'm going to use this as a way to get ahead of the deal so that we can keep this thing moving as fast as possible and get it closed this month.
What are we waiting for? Let's get this done.
That brings me to my last use case, proposal walkthrough video. I know what you're going to say, Tyler. When I've got a proposal for a prospect, I always want to walk through it personally live, whether that's in person or on a video call. And I absolutely think you should do that. Now, whether or not you have that opportunity, we've found that when you do send the proposal over for review and signature, including a short video where you walk through the key highlights, you reinforce the problems that you discovered during the sales process, and then why it is that you're recommending certain products at certain prices or packages to help solve those problems. And then getting ahead of potential objections or terms they may ask about, and doing so in a short video maximizes your chances that once it's sent over, it's going to get signed. Because often, once that proposal is sent, it is going to get forwarded to people you probably know and maybe a few others that you didn't know were even a part of the signing process. So, whether you have a chance to present it live or not, a video walkthrough of your proposal can go a long way. But don't make the mistake of recording a 30-minute walkthrough. That's not what we're talking about. Often these are somewhere between 2 to 5 minutes in length, depending on the complexity of your contracts, to make sure you're focusing on those high points, creating that rapport as they're watching it, and once again, reinforcing the why more so than you're talking about the specifics of the deal. All right, we covered a lot in this session, and hopefully you're feeling pretty prepared to go out there and start crushing it with video. But before you go, we wanted to provide some very specific recommendations on next steps that you can take to get comfortable, confident, and efficient with using video messages, whether you're using them for outbound prospecting, inbound lead conversion, deal cycle management, or winning more business. First things first, if you're not yet using a video messaging tool that's built for salespeople, that's the place to start. I recommend Vidyard because it's built for sales, but there are a number of different video messaging tools out there in the market that you can try out to see what the best fit is for you. But remember, all of these are going to do a few very important things. They're going to make it easy for you to record videos using your webcam and/or your screen share. They're going to make it seamless for you to add the thumbnail image and a hyperlink to the video into your outbound messages. And they're also going to let you know when somebody watched your video so that you can use those insights to better understand who's leaning in and who's not, and use those to prioritize your time. So go out there, find a video messaging tool. Many of them will let you start using them for free. So you've got no excuse, get out there and start making some vids. Second is do a few things to help yourself get comfortable and confident on video. This is an unnatural act for many of us, and it's actually quite different from being on a live video call. So there's a few things you can start to do to get comfortable and confident on video so that you master it as quick as possible. First of all, it should be no surprise to hear that practice really helps. Every time you make another video, you're going to get a little bit better and a little bit more comfortable. It's probably going to take you about, don't be scared here, but like 100 videos before you feel really good and natural with it. But since we're just making short conversational videos, you can make that many in a couple of weeks, maybe a month, depending on your own process. But here's a few tips for how to start making those videos without feeling like you're putting your big deals at risk. Number one is start with videos that feel really easy for you to make, where you know the subject matter, and it's really just about hitting record and speaking. A great example is answering questions. So if one of your prospects asks you a simple question about how does this work? Or what does this price mean? Or can you tell me a bit more about this? Rather than typing it out in an email or waiting for your next live call, hit the record button and deliver your answer. Send them over the video, and I bet you they'll actually thank you for it, and they'll probably more clearly understand it when you walk through it in that format. Or you can use videos internally with your colleagues, with your peers, with your boss, as a way to communicate information in a much more safe space, if you will. So maybe the next time your boss asks you about your forecast, or you want to provide an update on a deal you're working, instead of typing it out in an email or a Slack message, hit the record button and make a short video. Maybe you can do a screen share to highlight some key things, send that over, and again, hopefully they'll thank you for the video because it'll be more clear and engaging for them, but for you, it's also great practice to get good on camera. Number three is to develop a plan of attack for what kinds of videos you're going to be making, and to get really good at those ones by doing them over and over. It's just like making cold calls, right? Where you end up figuring out a script that you feel really comfortable with, and once you nail it, wow, are you ever good? And you're much more confident, and that all comes through in your messaging. So don't try to use video all over the place for everything. I mean, you can, see how it goes, but I encourage you to find a few of those specific use cases we talked about, whether it's a specific outbound message, using it as a meeting follow-up, maybe it's following up for inbound leads, and try doing that one over and over. Figure out the script for it, try a few different things. And once you get really good, it will become very natural and you can move on to the next use case. Now, in addition to feeling comfortable on camera, there are some pretty specific things you can do to be great on camera. Like making the kinds of videos where you're like, dang, I crushed that. I look great, I sound great, and they're going to love it. So to turn from being a video hater to a video creator, let's bring in, well, one of my favorite creators, Mr. Will Aitken, who knows a lot about how to get good on camera. Let's go, Will.
Okay, so regardless of what type of video you're sending, how can you make sure you're showing up your best on camera? Well, I would say the first thing, Tyler already mentioned it, repetition. Getting those reps in, getting good. You can't expect to step onto the court and just immediately start throwing 3-pointers, do you? No, you got to take multiple shots until you get the hang of it. Same thing applies to video. And the biggest mistake I see sellers make when they're new to video is striving for perfection. They want to make sure there's not a single mistake in their video. That's just not realistic or effective or efficient. It's okay to stumble over your words. If you do, don't restart the video, because what restarting the video is going to do is waste a ton of time and make video prospecting totally inefficient. If you have to record every video 10 times until it's perfect, it's going to be a waste of your time, and video selling stops being an effective way of doing prospecting and reaching out to your buyers. What's more, by the 10th time you've re-recorded the video striving to nail it perfectly, it's going to start to sound real robotic and real awkward, losing all of the charm and human elements that make videos so effective. Secondly, make sure to use all the assets that video provides to you. Whilst an email is just written words, video allows you to communicate with your tonality, your voice, your personality, your body language. So be sure to emphasize the points that require emphasizing. Be sure to use your pacing and tonality. Don't go too fast, but don't go too slow either. Get excited about exciting things and get serious about serious things. That's going to mean your video is more of a story and more engaging for the prospect to watch. At the same time, make use of your body language where you feel comfortable doing so. One of the best things you can do is smile. It's going to make you sound nicer, but it's also going to make you seem more friendly and like someone they would like to respond to. Make eye contact with your video lens so it feels like you're actually talking with the prospect. And if you're like me, talk with your hands a lot. Use your animated body language to add to your message, make it more impactful. Some final tips: you don't need incredible quality equipment to make a great video. You can use the built-in camera and microphone on your laptop. A couple of things you can do to elevate whatever setup you have is make sure that you're well lit. If it's light outside, like it was when we began recording this module, then you can sit in front of a window and let the daylight illuminate your face. You don't want your features all darkened out so you look like this mysterious figure. If you can't position yourself in front of a window or it's nighttime, then consider investing in a $10 ring light from Amazon. Just something that makes sure that your face is nicely well lit so they can see how beautiful you are. Finally, try and elevate whatever camera you're using to eye level. This makes it feel like you're talking with the prospect rather than down at them. And that's really it. Go out there and make some videos, you beautiful human being.